Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and we're back out here in the garage for another garage gun talk and upcoming projects video. Now I know some of you were really excited in the last video where I was using my better camera. I'm sorry, tonight I'm just using my camera phone, and it's just easier because I've been out here in the garage working. I don't want to set everything up. It's just easier to upload. So you have to deal with that tonight. I have one firearm that has been added to the queue that I want to share with you. And I have a garage gun talk about bump stocks. I know we haven't talked about that in a long time, but I actually saw one in the wild recently. But let's talk about the upcoming projects. I saw my good friend Michael today, and he dropped off something fun. A 1911 380 from Browning. And I have reviewed one of the scaled down 1911s from Browning in the past. It was in 22 long rifle, but never one in 380. So this is one of the black label ones, or they call it that. I guess that's the black label, but it says black label on the side of the gun. And he recently got this because he always wanted a scaled down 1911 and 380. So he got it, took it to the range, messaged me and said, you got to review this. It's way better than the Baby Rock, essentially the version of this that's made by Rock Island Armory. And I will tell you, the Browning stuff is nicer. But, you know, I'm not really sure where these are made or who makes them. I know it says Browning on the side. I guess it says Browning Arms Company, Morgan, Utah. But I've always been curious because normally they either import stuff or I'm not really sure. I'm fairly sure they subcontract this out, but I'm pretty sure they're made to pretty good quality. But essentially what we have here is a 1911 that has been scaled down to 380. I forgot the actual size. I want to say it's 75%, 80% the size of a real 1911. It has the same functionality and the same internal mechanism. So we do have a grip safety. We have all of the little, yes, we do have the little detents for the slide stop and the thumb safety. It has an ambidextrous thumb safety. We have a skeletonized trigger here. We have a beaver tail grip safety. We have some pretty nice sights. They kind of look like small, like, you know, Novak type of sights. It's finished in what looks like a Parkerization. I believe the receiver, or the frame I should call it, because a pistol is a frame, a rifle is a receiver, is polymer. So I know it has to have some metal in it. I know the serial number here on the side is in a metal kind of insert into the polymer. The slide obviously is metal, the barrel is metal and all that, but it looks like it's pretty good quality. The action seems to be pretty smooth. We have a few magazines here. I forgot how many of these things hold. I think it holds 8. And it looks like they're made by Pro Mag. Well, maybe, okay, he has one that's marked Browning, a Pro Mag, and one by Browning. So I guess we have 2 factories and 1 aftermarket. Let's see if that Pro Mag works like it should. Yep, looks like it does. I don't think we're going to have any problems there. And actually, even though it's scaled down, we still have the extractor like you normally do on a 1911 in the normal place. They didn't like redesign that, so that's pretty cool. So this should be a lot of fun. I've really been enjoying 380s lately. I love the Glock 25, and because this is a scaled down 1911, it has a tilting barrel to it. So I believe it has the linked barrel, or the linked barrel system. I'll have to take it apart and double check. I know it has a barrel bushing, but I think it's just 1911 scaled down. It's pretty cool. I will tell you, though, what would really dress this thing up, though, is a set of Brownworks grips. And I think he makes them for these scaled-down 1911s. Fairly sure he does. I mean, the black is okay, but I think personally something to give it a little bit of color and contrast, or even if you wanted to go with like a walnut, it would look a lot better. But I think they include just like these rubberized ones, so you can go in a different direction. But I definitely think that's what this firearm needs. But everything else on it's really nice. It says Black Label 1911 380. Yeah, so this is going to go in the queue for an upcoming project. Ooh, let's see here. That magazine, ooh, it doesn't really fly out of there. Let me see what the Browning one does. That comes out a little bit further. They don't drop out like a 1911 mag, but that's not really a big deal. That'd be like a super duper small gripe on that. So that's what we got, and that's going to be one of the guns that I need to work on. And I am sorry I have not made a lot of content lately here for this channel because I have been pumping out the content on the main channel. I had a whole list of stuff I needed to do during spring break, and I'm slowly getting to that, like stuff around the house, like detailing the car. I got to change the brakes on the car. I got to rotate the tires, change the air filter. And I've been working so hard on videos for the main channel that I've been neglecting other things. But I promised myself I would get to it. So that's what I've been doing. I finished the range report on the Glock 25, the custom 8.6 rifle. I did the, what was it? The rugged Alaskan 360 suppressor. So I did like one review a day, which is a really fast pace. And now I'm working on getting everything ready for the Q Peace of Mind fix in 8.6. That's the next one. I got all of the range footage in process of being edited, and hopefully I'll be able to get that done tonight. It's kind of late as I'm filming this. It's like 10:15 at night. I'm a night owl. But we're in the middle of the week, so I'll probably stay up till about 2:30, 3 o'clock. And then as we get closer to next Monday, I got to start bringing my sleep schedule back to normal. But see, what else do I got going on here at the channel? I guess that's about it. So the next guns I'm taking to the range is going to be the Ruger. No, sorry, I want to say Ruger. What is it? The Taurus. No, I already put it in my range bag. I got a revolver. No, it is the Ruger. I'm sorry. Did I say a Taurus? It's the Ruger GP100. I'm sorry. I got so much going on. Yeah, the Ruger GP100 that Jack lent to the channel. And I'm taking the Nighthawk Custom that I recently got. That's on the next range trip. Hopefully, that will be tomorrow night, maybe. So I got everything packed. Camera ready to go for that. So that goes tomorrow. And I think that's it. Yeah, I'm just flying through our content. And when I upload that video, that maybe I'll get done tomorrow, I will officially be 1 year ahead on videos. Yes, I have filmed that much content. So when I finish the range report on that, that will be released March the last one is the 16th, so it'd be the 17th, 18th, March the 19th of 2026. Yeah, that is how far ahead I am. So pretty awesome. I still have so much to do. I'm telling you guys, I'm the most blessed firearms YouTuber in the world. Nobody can touch me. And yeah, I am just honestly the most blessed person ever. So this is going to go in the safe tonight and go in the queue. So that'll be 1 or 2 range trips from now. So let's do a little garage gun talk. I already told you what I saw in the wild a couple days ago. By the way, I know I have a stain on my shirt. You don't have to tell me. I've been out here cleaning guns, and I think that is some gun cleaner. Yeah, and it's not going to dry. So I have to put that in the washing machine. It drives me nuts when I have a little, like a little dot in my shirt. I was at the range when I was filming content for all the stuff I've recently been doing, and there was a guy there that, to my surprise, had a bump stock. Now, as you guys know, bump stocks are legal again because of the Supreme Court. They said they are legal. And one thing that did surprise me, because that case was so important for many different reasons. There was the lower level reason was bump stocks are not machine guns. Okay, you're still pulling the trigger one time for every round. And that's always been the definition of a machine gun, is when you pull the trigger back, you have multiple rounds fire. And of course, the ATF, or the previous ATF, administrators tried to rewrite statutes and laws and regulations to kind of get around that, and, so forth. Went all the way to the Supreme Court, and they said, nope, they are not. But the bigger issue, of course, was, can the ATF redefine laws, regulations, things that have been essentially understood for 70 years. I mean, the definition of machine gun remained unchanged since 1934. So what is that, 70, 80 years, or so forth. And now all of a sudden they change it to fit their need. And of course, the big scare of that is what else will they change? And as time goes on, you have that slippery slope effect. And so the Supreme Court put the kibosh on that. The big surprise for me is, even though I think a lot of us agree that the concept of a bump stock it was a gimmick, okay? The only reason it really got into the public eye was that horrific Las Vegas shooting. But a lot of us in the gun community always looked at them as like gimmicks, and they were kind of like toys. They weren't really functional. I mean, if you had ever used one, you knew it wasn't like a machine gun, because you really had to kind of get everything set, and when you try to pull the gun apart, sometimes it would run, sometimes it wouldn't. It was just a gimmick to kind of simulate. It was really weird. But I honestly thought that when the Supreme Court overturned that ban, that you would begin to see companies make them again. Now, maybe they are. I just haven't seen them. I think the stigma of them still lasts, and I still think there's a lot of people that think they're illegal, and I just haven't seen them. And I don't know. They're legal to have now, but nobody has made them. So I don't know why that is. It was a big fight. I remember when that got banned. A lot of you guys were up in arms. I always kind of joke about the keyboard warrior saying, "shall not be infringed. The ATF can't create law." And then when the law or the regulation is overturned, no one seems to give a crap about bump stocks. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? It was such a big effing deal. And I agree, it was for me, it was the bigger thing about the ATF creating regulations. But for a lot of people, it was like, "you can't take my property, how dare you?" And then now it's legal and nobody cares at all. But I was kind of curious if I'd ever see one again. And I was at the range filming this content, and this one guy comes in, and I'm guessing, okay? And I didn't talk to him. I always kind of keep to myself. I'm so introverted. But this guy comes in. He was probably, 50 years old, about 5 or 6 years older than I am. And he came in with these 3 young girls. Now, sometimes you're just kind of curious, like, what the relationship is. I'm gonna guess it was maybe his daughter, because there was one. Well, he was a Caucasian gentleman. There was one Caucasian young lady with him. I didn't see the resemblance, but it could have been his daughter. Okay, I'm not saying, and if it wasn't, I don't care. Good for him. But then they had, I guess, what was 2 of her friends who were these young Asian Americans, ladies. I said they were probably between 19 and 21, 22 years old. They seemed a little bit shy. You could tell that they were like unsure. Maybe this was like their first time at a gun range. And so it was just me and them, and I was like a couple lanes down, and I was setting up for all my range report stuff. And so when they're shooting, of course, I was reviewing suppressed firearms, so I have to wait for them. I just kind of set everything up I need, and I'll kind of get to the back of the range, get on my phone, play a game or whatever, and just kind of wait for them to be done. And of course, I'm observing stuff, and they started off with like a .22 pistol, and then moved up to like a 9mm pistol. Then he had an Uzi. Now, it wasn't a full auto Uzi. It was like a semi-auto Uzi. It wasn't an SBR, though, which was kind of cool to see. I kind of wanted to go over and ask him, was that a Model A, a Model B? What was it? Or was it one of the clones, like a Norinco or something? But he was busy talking to them, helping them figure out how to shoot. And then I'm just on my phone, just kind of waiting for him. I saw him out of the corner of my eye, get out an AR, whatever. And then I heard what sounded like full auto, I was like, okay, well, maybe he's here at the Frisco Gun Club VIP lines. So, and we're allowed to shoot full auto there. So I was thinking, okay, well, maybe he has a transferable. And I look over at lane number 6. Yeah, there's 6 lanes there. I look over at lane 6, right by the wall, and lo and behold, I saw a bump stock. And I haven't seen one of those in a long time. It was just an AR with a bump stock on it. And it was one of like the Slide Fire Solutions Gen 1s. I remember them. They had like 2 different generations. And it was the Gen 1. And I hadn't seen one of those in a long time. It was so weird to see him shoot it, because instead of shooting it from the shoulder up here, he had it down like hip firing and did it that way. And that was kind of weird, because when I have shot bump stocks in the distant past, It was always up here, not down here. So he was kind of doing like hip fire, almost like an M1918 BAR or something. But it was kind of cool to see one, and so obviously this person did not turn his in or destroy it like he was supposed to. Which just goes to say that when all that stuff went down, I was pretty sure nobody got rid of theirs. It was the biggest joke in the world. Everybody kept them; they just didn't use them. And so now, I think people that are in the know are kind of coming out and going, "Yeah, the Supreme Court said these are totally legal," and you're starting to see some. Well, I saw one, so I'm kind of curious. Have you guys seen any bump stocks in the wild? We still, of course, have always seen the braced pistols. You know, that was always up in limbo. But the braced pistols have always been around. But the bump stocks, are they coming back? And do you guys know of anybody that's making any? I haven't seen any, but they're legal. So I kind of thought they'd make a big resurgence, you know, because the gun community sure loves their gimmicks. They like to have what the government says you can't have, because beforehand they wanted them, and now no one seems to care. I haven't seen anybody shoot any of the FRT stuff, or what I think is. I know I've seen some binary triggers, but that's never been an issue. I'm always fascinated because when I shoot at the Frisco Gun Club, the VIP lanes, the way it works is it's the Frisco Gun Club is we'll call it a gun tree club, I guess, and I actually think there's so much potential in this place. I know when it opened years and years ago, it was like a premier shooting facility where it was like a big gun shop. I mean, a really nice kind of like, you know, like a retail space. And they had, of course, the big, what's it called? The ranges. Why can I think of that? But they have all these public, and they have a 100-yard indoor rifle range, which I use for some of my reviews. And they have all the pistol lanes that are public. And then they have a restaurant, a cafe, and they have like a VIP section, which we have 24-hour biometric access to, which is awesome because I can go there and film at like 2 o'clock in the morning to make sure nobody else is there. And sometimes I go at like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And it's really nice. And yes, sometimes there are other people there, but I can go any time of the day. I can bring anybody I want through the side door, you know, whatever. And the people that typically have this membership, because it's limited to a certain number of people, they'll bring some exotic stuff. I mean, I've seen some people with transferable machine guns there, some weird guns, high-end guns. It's really awesome to see what other people are bringing to the range. But anyway, getting back to the Frisco Gun Club, it's a cool experience. I kind of feel like the place could be what it was back in the heyday. A lot of people, you know, I guess I recognized it. Years ago, when Coleon Noir started his channel, he had a couple of videos. In fact, I even remember the video it was. It was talking about different people you see at the gun range. I mean, this video must be 10 years old or older. One of his first videos when he started to like really start to make better content than just like with his phone. That was filmed at the Frisco Gun Club. I know it was 110%. And I kind of feel like that was the place he went to for a while. And I've heard people say they've seen him there. I have not. I do see Dallas Cowboy players. Sometimes I'm in the range and these guys come in and I don't know anything about sports ball. I can't name them, but you know, I'll see 3 or 4 guys come in and it is obvious that they are football players. I mean, they are gigantic, you know, big guys. And they got their, you know, they have like a Dallas Cowboys shirt on. But I know, because they are members of the club, so I know exactly who they are, who they're affiliated with, essentially. And they come in with, you know, like Gucci guns. It's so funny. I hate to say it's stereotypical, but one of them comes in with like a gold-plated like 1911. I mean, it was like decked out 1911 Gucci, like ARs and AKs and that kind of stuff. It's exactly what you think it would be. But I guess when you have that kind of money, you can get gold-plated guns, I guess. But I've seen that kind of stuff. But anyway, I actually do know some of the people at the Frisco Gun Club watch my channels. But the reason I say it's kind of, I don't say it's fallen off, because I like the club. The restaurant is awesome. It's so good. It's so good. If you walk in, I think you can just be a basic member and eat at the restaurant for lunch, but for dinner, you have to be a VIP member. Awesome, awesome place. I mean, the food is so good. Oh my God, the food's so good. But I feel like they've missed the boat on the retail space. Maybe it's because of the location. I don't I don't know. I used to go there and kind of check out to see what they have. When it comes to the newer stuff, they got barely anything. They got a pretty good selection of like used stuff that I kind of browse through. But I kind of feel like the place has turned more into just a shooting range, and I kind of feel like they're missing the boat. It just doesn't feel like it used to. But I'm still going to stay going there because it's the only place I can go and film in the middle of the night. It's awesome. So anyway, I guess that's about it. My only other gripe with that club is for a while, and they have finally fixed it. And all of the other VIP members would, I know a few of them, we like message each other. Man, the climate control was terrible for a while. If it was cold outside, the VIP lanes were colder. So like, let's say it was 40 degrees outside, they'd be 32 degrees. Like the heater never worked. And then in the summertime, it'd be sweltering. You couldn't even use it. So there's actually a few range reports that I filmed a couple months ago that you probably see the breath coming out. I mean, I had to get these range reports done, but I'm bundled up. But now it's definitely fixed. And you might see in the future some thumbnails, because I try to use the backdrop of the range for my thumbnails. There's a couple of like ceiling tiles that have fallen off, and I kind of feel like that looks a little ghetto. It just needs like a little bit of touch up here and there, and I really think it would be like a really high-end premier place. I know it's what it started out as. I still like it, but I just look at the potential and go, with just a little bit of changes here. Even on like the 100-yard rifle ranges, the target systems will be down, and they'll have one lane that's down forever. Right now, it has technically four lanes, but they're down to two because lanes 3 and 4 don't work. And every time I go in there, they're tearing it apart or whatever. And it makes me wonder if maybe they can't get the parts for it, or maybe they need to get something new. I don't know. I just feel like, man, you can make so much money there, because people are shooting there all the time. They have classes for, CHL and things. And here in Frisco, it's kind of a happening place. Now, granted, there are some big competition with some other big box stores and other gun stores around, but in my opinion, the 24-hour access is the best thing going for me and my channel, so it's totally worth it. Anyway, I know this was kind of a rambly video, and I'm sorry about that. I really don't have much to talk about except showing off what we have being added to the queue, and of course, talking about seeing bump stocks in the wild. So tell me in the comment section, have you seen any now that everything's legal? I'm just curious, because I saw my first one, and I'm curious, am I going to see more? So the word of the day, if you made it to the end of this video, you guessed it, is going to be bump. Bump is the word of the day. So if you use that word in your comment, I know you made it to the end and that you are a true vault dweller. It means so much to me. And by the way, this channel just surpassed 9,000 subscribers, which is amazing because this channel was never supposed to get this big. And the main channel recently surpassed 30,000 subscribers. So I'm well on my way of rebuilding what I had before my channel was taken down by YouTube, my main channel. So trying to think of what else. What else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, tomorrow, I hope I don't jinx it, the warning that I got on my channel 90 days ago, actually technically right now, 89 days ago, falls off, where they claimed I was in the business of selling guns, and I'm not, and never have, and don't link to anything. I don't talk about anything like that, and I've heard other channels have the same problem. The Yankee Marshal was one where he was doing some video or something, and they claimed he was, and there's no recourse, and that happened 90 days ago, so it falls off tomorrow. But anyway, so that's all I got for you. Thanks for joining me here in the garage. Thanks for the chit chat. I always enjoy interacting with you guys. And as always, thanks for watching.